I would like to give floor now to Paulius Kuncinas, who is the representative of Kovalis Capital Fund, a London-based global asset manager focused on infrastructure, renewables, utilities. Your fund is investing in electricity companies in Europe. What conditions Central Asian countries need to satisfy to attract your investments and your involvements in the region? What kind of projects would you like to invest in Central Asia?
Thank you, Nadežda. Thank you, Marat. I hope you can hear me. I just want to check the sound. And I'm sorry I cannot be with you there in person. I'm here in Vilnius, in fact. We're about to have meet the Tsikhanovskaya. We're having a meeting here, and the NATO is coming up, so that's why I'm not in Brussels.
No
but
problem.
let me, that's my excuse, sorry. Focusing, so I'm here to represent the private sector perspective, because I got involved in renewables actually 15 years ago when it was uninvestable, when the only way to get involved was through feed-in tariff, through subsidies. Now we're in the world that's largely free of subsidies. It's good to say that in solar and in wind, we can pretty much talk about grid parity, meaning you don't need subsidies. And actually, as an investor, I prefer not to have subsidies. We want to have a standalone case where it's based on tariffs, pure commercial tariffs. But what's really the main issue right now is that there's a lot of choice. There's a lot of competition, different jurisdictions offering different packages. And I think it's fair to say the first condition every investor is looking for stability. So when I look at the jurisdiction, and I have explored opportunities in Central Asia, the number one issue for me is the security of the power purchasing agreement, the PPA. So I would prefer a lower return, but a more stable return over a longer period, because what it's important to understand from a financial investment community perspective, solar renewables is becoming a fixed income product. So it's becoming more and more like a commodity, very similar to commercial real estate in London. I like to use that analogy. Mm-hmm. So people there's a lot of, so just to be clear, there's a lot of capital available. Right now, every asset manager is looking for ESG premium. So environmental, social governance, and renewables is E. It's the easiest one to address. So there's plenty of liquidity, and actually, ironically, compared to 15 years ago, there's shortage of supply. So I think here Central Asia is very attractive, because I know from, for instance, a recent trip to Azerbaijan, for instance, that even oil and gas rich countries understand that it's better to export their hydrocarbons and produce renewable energy locally. Mm-hmm. And they have the land, they have the local capital, they have experience working with international major energy companies, and they have infrastructure. But what I found is still missing is there's no enough legal, basically, instruments of how to attract foreign investors. And in the specific case of Azerbaijan, I think the tariffs are too low. They're not competitive internationally. So that was the main issue that experienced. Having said that, there are very interesting opportunities in using renewables, for instance, for hydrogen exports, especially where you have already existing gas infrastructure. I think there's interest in financial investors in hydrogen to Europe. I think that's called green hydrogen. So there's definitely an opportunity there. Of course, I just said I don't want subsidies on tariff, but however, given that we live in the world of where US has Inflation Reduction Act, $1 trillion on the table. Given that Germany is giving Intel 9 billion, of course, incentives will attract investors, but incentives, again, not on tariff, but on CapEx, on actual investment. So these will make a difference. So that's my kind of short feedback on what investors are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you.